My name is Celia Colón. I've been impacted by the justice system my entire life. The first time I walked inside of a prison door, I was 4 years old, visiting one of my uncles who's serving life. My mother suffers from mental health issues. There was a lot that I seen that I shouldn't have seen. Not only did we suffer physical abuse, but a lot of sexual abuse in the hands of my mom's boyfriends. When I was 12 years old, my mother was beaten by her boyfriend with a rolling pin. And he had beat her so bad that he had her left her like unconscious and bloody in the living room. So I don't know what got in me. All I could say is God. But I remember putting her on my back and walking out the front door and putting her in the station wagon. Then I put all my brothers and sisters in the back seat. And I jumped on 2 yellow phone books. And I jumped on Highway 75 and I started coming to Chicago because I knew how to get here. My grandparents helped us get an apartment on the southeast side, South Chicago. It was a 3-flat building, so there was like 6 apartments in that building. And it was a gang unit. Everybody that was in there that lived in that building belonged to a gang. And I didn't know we had just moved into headquarters. Gangs back then in the 80s and 90s weren't the way they are now. They were more like a community organization. So all of the meetings were being held in the garage and they would hang out in front. That was their spot, right? I told one of the girls what had happened, where we had just came from, what was going on. Right away, she took me under her wing and she was like, "Oh, we got this, you're safe." They gave me a sense of family, a sense of protection, a sense of support. They fed me, they put clothes on me, they would walk me to school. My 7th and 8th grade, I wore black and gold every day to school. I mean, like, that was my life. I had access to guns, to drugs, and to get people beat up if I needed to. I went to more funerals than I did parties. I became a teen mom at the age of 16. When I was 18, I got into a fight with one of my cousin's baby mamas, and everybody jumped her, and she ended up getting really hurt. She ended up getting stabbed, and I ended up catching an attempt murder. All I know is when they told me that I was gonna serve 15 years, I felt like that was the rest of my life at the age of 18, right? They put me on Supermax, Unit 15. One side was death row on one wing, and then I was on a wing with people that are doing, life or long-term sentences. My whole world was over because I wasn't with my daughter. I was just full of anger and hurt and trauma and abuse. My healing began and started in prison. I joined a program that changed my life forever. It was a hospice program. It broke me open and taught me about empathy. It taught me about forgiveness. I started mapping out my new life before I left prison. And when I came home, I stayed very focused and I stuck to it. I started thinking about all the women that I left behind the walls that had a story just like mine or even worse. At the end of the day, everyone going to prison, 92% of them will come home and they will be your neighbor. And how do you want these people to be?